Hello, everybody, and welcome to You'll Probably Agree. Jesus, why do I sound like I all of a sudden jump into like this whole like talk show host guy voice? Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to You'll Probably Agree. As always, it's Friday. The Bad Batch came out. John and I saw it. John is like a avid film collector, I guess you could say. Like if anyone prefers a digital over physical copy, John will rip your throat out. No, I'm just kidding. I will rip
Yeah,
someone's throat out though if they prefer a digital copy of Star Wars, the George Lucas enhanced bullshit version over this.
yeah. I mean, thanks for having me on the show. I think people should be able to prefer whatever they want,
Yeah.
and other people shouldn't judge those other people. Like, there's two sides to every fucking story. Let's deal with that. But yeah, Bad Batch episode 4. Holy smokes, good god dang episode.
Yeah. I don't know if it was
That was
that.
fun.
It was. I don't know if I felt like it was that good, but I felt like it was pretty. It was pretty entertaining. Like I liked.
Fennec Shand. That's awesome. Bringing her back.
Was that who the fuck it was?
Reminding everybody that this is now, just after Vader, and
Wait a minute. That was
there's
Fennec?
people that exist. Yes, it's the same character from The Mandalorian.
Okay,
Boba
now
Fett
this
ends up,
episode is awesome. I
like,
changed my opinion. This
yeah,
episode is instantly fucking awesome. All right,
yeah.
Disney.
They're
I said something good. Give me
they're
money. No, I'm just
starting
kidding.
to connect some really cool dots here, and that's like I praised them about that from day one. And
Oh yeah.
holy smokes, Ming-Na win in the house. Holy smokes.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh god. I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, cause you know what? I like how they connect the dots. And the thing is, I saw this article. And it was, if the audience can hear this, they can tell I'm like basically walking into another room and grabbing something. I was going into another room to grab something to spray my dirty glasses with. Anyways, as I was saying, no, I like how there was this argument online where someone was saying, I'm tired of movies like Mortal Kombat that are just films that are made to open the world but not tell a story. But the thing is that I like what Disney does is they make it seem organic because story comes first and then world building comes second. And luckily, I think the this show is really made for the hardcore fans that love all the world building where they don't have to explain anything. They smack you bam right in the middle of the story. They put in what was Freddie Prince's character's name again? Caden, was that it?
It was a Caleb and then Kanan.
Yeah,
Once he
Kanan.
was a Jedi.
Yeah. Like Kanan, young Kanan came in. You don't know who he is. It's like, hey, guess what? Just try to figure it out. This is what it's made for, and it's made on a kid's level. Would I love to see this written on like a Mandalorian level where it's made for kids and adults at the same time? Fuck yeah, I would. But
Yeah,
for a
that's
kid's
happening.
show
I mean,
and for what it
Fennec Shand
is, I
kills a
love
couple
it.
people, so they're absolutely doing that.
Yeah. But now that we know it's Fennec, that really answers one question. Like when we thought Fennec was dead and then Boba Fett's like, oh, I patched her up and blah, 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 blah. Like, that was basically, I think she's not human. Is she like part robot or something then? Because like,
I
how
guess
is
we'll
she
find out.
that young all the way back then? She
Well, I mean, it's, who knows? Maybe she's another clone. Maybe she isn't human. We found out in The Mandalorian, she eventually does, or maybe already had robot parts.
yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? But we're going to get that story. We're going to get that story flushed out. And hats off to these writers team again. That was such a great character in The Mandalorian. And you're like, why does she have a bounty on her? Oh my God, we're going to find out.
Well, I really like the way they are implementing, like not to sound like like a woke, annoying pain in the ass, but I do like how they are implementing female characters into these stories now, where it seems like in this year, like in these last few years particularly, culture has changed out where we want to see more exciting female characters, or I don't think we would have been as excited to see her like if it were the 90s or something like that. And that's something that, I mean, one of the producers on the show I'm gonna screw up my score here in the game, but her name was like Jennifer or something like that. So now I sound like an asshole, but you know, I think maybe she's partially a credit to that, but maybe we're finally seeing some real diversity in this instead of like the bullshit we saw in the, you know, sequel films.
Sorry, I died pretty well. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a really good job of, you know, spreading the cast out, which is pretty amazing. Diversifying, bringing in a lot more female characters and a lot more people of color, which is great.
Yep.
Fennec Shan happens to be both.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, part robot too. Who knows? You know,
Yeah.
we don't know. But yeah, and you know, it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's great. It's kind of like they've made, you know, Filoni and his team like the ultimate sort of revisionists, where it's like, hey, fans can come in, they can't change what's already been developed in the script, no matter how bad it is, but they can write cool shit around it and then make it cool. And
Still pull it together.
yeah,
I mean, just remember how like everybody complained about the prequels before, you know, the Clone Wars and then Rebels, and now this came out. Like everybody complained about those movies nonstop, like they wouldn't shut up about them. Now everybody's like, oh no, they're cool, you know. They're kind of connecting it out with the cartoons here and make, you know, they made the prequels relevant.
yeah,
Their first two, you know, animated series basically, Rebels and the Clone Wars.
yeah, yeah,
And now they're connecting their live action shows, you know, Mandalorian to, it's just, it's unbelievable. You know,
yeah.
I couldn't imagine being in that writer's room and being like a fan nerd that I am, being like, yes, that's a great idea. Keep, you know, run with that.
No, I think that's everyone's
Connect
ultimate
this,
dream.
connect that.
That would be my ultimate dream. Would just be, you know, be in that Disney writer's room, saying, "Oh, what if we have this happen and we tie it to this? A character that was once lame is now cool. Something,
Yeah.
you know, something that was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those guys who would not shut the hell up about how much I hated the prequels. I mean, you can look no further than an article on my site saying how the Phantom Menace created doubt in my life, which is a
there you
very
go.
dramatic and stupid statement. But if you actually read the article, there's a little more context to it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm sure there is, but that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's go. I should actually.
I mean,
put a
you're not
link to
absolutely
that
wrong. That
article.
movie's not the worst. And the second one's also not the worst.
Well, the
And
second
the
one's
third
like.
one has a couple of saving grace. I mean, they're not the best, I should say, and not the worst. What am I saying? They're not the best.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I
And
think
the
the
third-
first
no.
one is like this movie that, like, let's say if you didn't know anything about Star Wars, you just turn it on, it'd probably be like a dumb, fun little sci-fi movie that you'd see that you'd forget about. Basically, what Star Wars luckily didn't become, like just some forgettable Star Wars like sci-fi film. You know, and again, we're not talking about the world building and all that. That stuff's incredible. But essentially, yeah, the first one's like a dumb, fun movie, and the second one is just a dumb, boring movie.
Yeah.
And the third one is actually like a very fascinating, just kind of poorly executed Greek tragedy, if you will.
The creator's final stamp on his product, basically.
Yeah.
This is how we're going out.
It was
This is
George
gonna
Lucas's
be-
Snyder cut.
Yeah, I think he pretty much knew what was coming after that.
Yeah. Which,
He
like,
couldn't continue. He couldn't continue to do what he was doing. You know, that took a lot out of him. Those three movies, you know, it did.
yeah.
But that third one's, you know, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
I think there are parts that I like, but there's just so many dramatic moments that just fall absolutely flat. You know, but that's actually an episode I think I did with Ian Simmons where I actually want to look back and I started to think after watching all these shows, like, you know what? Those prequel movies are actually fantastic. But then I remember after like I watched the ending of Clone Wars, I went back and I watched episode 3, and where I was feeling genuine emotion from like that ending of the Clone Wars, I felt nothing during the actual events that it was referencing in episode 3.
Yeah.
Again, it's just because it was like George had these amazing ideas, but he didn't take. I mean, this is a very little known fact. It's kind of like a Hollywood legend, but usually Hollywood legends sometimes turn out to be true. It's like Francis Ford Coppola really wrote the screenplay to the original Star Wars. Like, George Lucas had the ideas, he wrote his garbage version, and then Coppola came in and fixed it up. And he just said, look, I'm your friend, you don't have to put my name on it. Because, you know, he probably didn't know it would become this big thing. Maybe he did, I don't know. Either way, they were very close. And he did that. Which would make absolute sense. Because the writing in the prequels are atrocious. American Graffiti, like Lucas wrote a little bit, but there were 2 other people who wrote it that essentially made it a much better film. But my God, whenever you know what the best parts of the prequels were? When everyone shut the fuck up, and that doesn't say a lot about a movie.
Yeah, that's the best part of Star Wars when there's no talking.
Well,
Shut up, show me some cool stuff.
I'm not
And
sure
that's,
because
getting
I
back
am
to
your
this
father
episode, like
scene.
that's what this episode was all about. Like it was all action. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it was cool. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, well, getting back to this episode, we should actually give a summary of what happened because we went off on a tangent about, you know, Star Wars stuff, which is okay. It's tied to the podcast, whatever. But I guess to give a summary of the episode, the gang, the Bad Batch, they need some repairs on their ship, and they crash land on. Have we seen this planet before, or is this a new planet?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the names of everywhere that the Mandalorian went, but
Yeah.
is this the same? It looks very similar to somewhere from the Mandalorian.
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of looked like
they all
generic
look the same.
Star Wars
They all
planet.
look the same.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's Star Wars planet. Well, no, not really. It was kind of like a mini Coruscant, I guess you could say. You know, is where they were. And, you know, they kind of had that whole chase scene where you find out there's a bounty hunter. Once these guys land on this planet, you know, I was thinking to myself, oh God, here we go, another filler episode. Turned out, not so much the case. There's a bounty hunter who actually wants to go and kill this little girl, Omega. So,
Oh, she did not kill her, just catch her.
yeah,
Catch her and bring her back to someone.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say kill her,
don't know.
but catch her.
No.
You know, she's the target. They wouldn't have her kill the young child in it. You can kill an
No.
innocent family in the show because you don't know who they are, but you can't kill a character that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Fennec had plenty of chances to kill her, and she didn't. So it's obviously a retrieval mission.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so we find out basically. Spoiler alert. Should we just give it away?
Yeah.
Alright, so Fennec is hunting after Omega. And yeah, it turns out Fennec was a young woman, I guess, all the way back then. And luckily, the girl gets away, and you know, they take off from the planet, and we know that Fennec is after Omega for some reason, but we don't know why. And I remember before seeing this episode, you sent me like this text, and I knew, oh great, he's referencing something I haven't seen yet. I mean, you know, I had work to do.
Sorry about that.
I wish I could have stayed up and seen it, because man, if I didn't, I would have loved to have stayed up to have seen that. I missed my old life.
Yeah. Yeah, my
COVID,
bad.
lock us down again. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, what was your theory? I want to know what your theory was for this week.
Which one?
Yeah, well, one of them turned out to be true.
I mean,
I think
one
Alfred
of
Molina
them
should
for
send
this
us some
show
money.
is, like I already kind of brought it up in this episode. Like we do find out, you know, Fennec Shand exists at this time period, and she's around. And we know from the Mandalorian that she's got a bounty on her head for some reason. You know, Mando's sent out to hunt her down or whatever, and Boba Fett picks her up, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's like what is it that she's wanted for, and who is she wanted by? Like, is she wanted by the Empire because she failed at her job, or is she wanted by the Empire because she changed her mind at the last second and like helped out the Resistance and the Bad Batch? Like, we're gonna find that out. Like,
Yeah.
super excited about that. So that's two
Maybe-
theories I had.
At
Yeah,
one
I mean,
point,
another
say
one of my
that.
theories is that Like I'm pretty sure that Fennec isn't the only bounty hunter that's been hired, and we may see the other 4 bounty hunters
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, we could.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
We'll
could
see.
see
A boss, IG-88.
We could see Boss. We could see a lot of guys.
Zuckuss and Forlom.
Yeah.
Love to see some Forlom, honestly. We've seen just about everybody else. Some Zuckuss and Forlom would be pretty fun to see. Get those guys fleshed out also. But yeah, I mean, it's just, again, fantastic how they're able to connect the dots. Theory number 4, I'm going to throw out there and then let you take your show back.
No, keep going. I love
I'm
it.
going back to the last episode, and I'm pretty much thinking that Omega is Phasma. I'll just say it. Omega is Phasma.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do remember you saying that. I think if anything, it'd be way cooler if Omega's Rey.
We're gonna
Or a
get
clone
like,
of Palpatine, a test clone of Palpatine.
She's
what if we
a
can
female,
make a
so she can't be.
Force-sensitive clone and we can just keep upgrading? Like, just take a bunch of midichlorians and shove it in a tube, or
That's coming
whatever,
next.
and then just implant it in them.
That's his plan. That's the next plan. That's something that they alluded to in the last episode also. The Kaminoans, have a lab, and that's where Omega was working the whole time.
Yeah.
And there was a scene with the 2 Kaminoans, and they're like, if you can get your secret project off the ground, maybe we'll have an ability to save ourselves from the Empire. Because they're nervous, man. They are very nervous. like all of the clones have been called back to Kamino for some reason. They're the Kaminoans are not dumb. They're pretty sure that they know what's going to happen, and that's the extermination of said clones and possibly the extermination of said Kaminoans.
Yep.
And, they are wise to it. So, the one Kaminoan who worked in the lab is like, yeah, we have this secret project. And,
yeah.
But, yeah, there's a lot of layers to the show, and I'm really excited to see where they go.
Dude, what if the Kaminoans are the first ones to establish the Dark Jedi? Like clone Jedi, but like the Empire stops them from doing it because the Kaminoans used it against the Empire.
Yep.
Dude,
or they sabotage the equipment before the Empire gets a hold of it, and that's why, Snoke is Snoke, and all the other emperors are like fucked up or whatever. And...
Yeah. Now I'm wondering how they can tie this to the main characters, so we're invested in the characters themselves, because. Like, shows like Rebels, it was cheesy and all that, but that's what made me love it so much. Like, they're kiddie characters and stuff like that, but you love them because the whole sort of theme of Disney movies in general and their characters, and probably because of Steven Spielberg, since it's extensively a part of his childhood and he put it in films, is that it's about, having families. And whether it's by blood or not by blood, and usually in this case it's not by blood through Disney's end, which it works, but I'm wondering, how do you tie that with all the world building? Because it seems like all the things we get excited about are like the big epic battles and stuff like that. How do we tie this to just the central characters? Like, how do we still care about like Hunter? Or, I don't even remember. I'm going to call him Scope again. Sniper
Crosshair.
guy.
He wasn't even in this episode. Crosshair.
Yeah. I want to see those characters more. But then again, you know what? I'm complaining too much.
It's only episode 4 of the first season.
And they've actually established
Rebels had,
a lot of this.
Four seasons?
Yeah. I guess.
the 100 episodes or so. There's a lot of story coming, and I'm liking the groundwork that they're placing.
Well, I guess my point in the end is, I could complain about all that, but you know what? They are kind of rooting it in the characters, and they do it organically, as, Disney does it. They don't do it like Marvel, where, Warner Brothers, I should say. I don't want to have a whole DC Marvel thing. It had nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that Disney is great at world building, where they're like, hey, if we fuck up, and people don't give a shit, we'll make something cool where they do give a shit. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they're doing with the world building here. Because if you enter this show, if you're just like a guy who knows nothing about Star Wars, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? This is boring. What do I care about this for? But
Well,
what
so, I
they
mean, the Venn diagram for the Bad Batch is pretty small. You do kind of have to understand a whole bunch of Star Wars to even start this show, honestly.
yeah, a show starring a bunch of clones who are apparently different, and the only reason they're different is because there's something called an inhibitor chip. A what? An inhibitor chip. You know,
Yeah.
in their
Try
brains.
explaining that to somebody that doesn't know Star Wars or
Yeah,
science fiction in general. So
Yeah.
what are they doing? What are they doing?
this is why I love
Yeah,
it.
I did want to mention, during this episode, we find out that Tech, when they've landed, gives them the ability to scramble their ship's signal,
Yeah,
right? Which obviously hadn't been done before, and the chain codes are brand new, so they're like creating ways to hide from the Empire.
yeah,
In episode 4, like literally like day 3 after Darth Vader took over and the purge happened, Order 66 happened. This is like a week later,
yeah.
so I don't know. There's just a lot of like deep stuff with this show. Like, is the Bad Batch responsible for the beginning of the rebellion? Like, are they like, I mean, not responsible, but like extremely critical? Like, that nobody had that ability up until this second. Like, nobody even thought about it, and Tech's just like, yeah, I can do it. I can do all this stuff. It's like, oh, wait a minute. They're laying down groundwork for the beginning of the rebellion through these guys, and it's like,
Oh God! I just realized why they're gonna make us care because of all those
some fun
stupid
stuff.
rebellion shows coming out about whatever his name was in Rogue One and all that. It's all going to be
Kenobi?
about the building of the rebellion. We're going to be like, oh, you got to go back to the Bad Batch because then it connects to, who the hell am I thinking about? Endor, Kendor, Bendor, Lendy,
oh,
Lengai?
Cassian.
Yeah, Cassian Endor or whatever the hell. So then we can care about his stupid show where I guarantee you, the inflammatory comments I'm making towards that show without even seeing a bit of footage of it will probably be reversed when I see the show in context because of how they
You
build
don't know what
these
you're
worlds.
talking about. You
Yeah.
never know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I don't know what I'm talking about. Disney's just like, oh, we know you think it's stupid.
Yeah.
We know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're laying a lot of groundwork for the future of Star Wars in general, live action and cartoon. And it's obvious that these worlds are overlapping. I mean, it's the same world, obviously, but that these stories will overlap to the live action. You know what I mean?
And the nice thing is, it doesn't.
It's fascinating.
Well,
It's fascinating to read way too much into this shit. It's great. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, because the great thing is when you read too much into it, it actually fucking happens with Filoni shit. Like when we're watching The Mandalorian, it's like, oh man, they're gonna have Boba Fett. Oh man, they're gonna have this, and it's like, no, it's not. And it's like they fucking did, and then it connected to other stuff. Like, wait a minute, that clone goes to Palpatine, and they're like, it's like they know, like, man, fan theorists are gonna fucking like they're gonna go crazy when they see this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're writing a whole bunch of stories for the fans, and it's not like the Clone Wars where they like wasted the first 2 years.
Yeah. Which,
they hit us in the face with a pretty solid movie right up front.
Including
gave us
the
some
Clone Wars
pretty decent
movie, I
character
guess that's
development.
3 years that they just like let Filoni figure shit out.
Pretty much, yeah. 3, 4, 5 year chunk. They're just like, here you go, take the reins.
Now, did you read
But
about
he figured
the
it
news?
out.
Yeah. Did you read about the news story where it said that he is like one of the Twitter was so happy because they found out he's one of the creative storytellers of Star Wars, but it was like really not that big of a deal because it's just like, well, he's already in that position. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've known, those of us that have been watching the animation for a while have known that for years now. But people are just now catching on because of the movies and whatnot, and they're doing everything they can to try and keep this franchise relevant after they, kind of screwed the pooch with 3.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it. 3 things that came out for money, blah blah blah. But yeah, anyway, the show's good.
Yeah. Well, what is it
And-
that Yoda said? Failures are great. Failure is the greatest teacher. Okay, here's the Yoda voice. There you go. Now I got the Yoda voice. But yeah, failure is our greatest teacher.
Oh shit, Anakin got me.
Oh, for God. Thanks, Anakin. Go whine about
you got me
Padme
too.
somewhere. Alright. What I was gonna say, what I was gonna say is where we were seeing sort of like how the MCU built the foundation for people caring about how world building is happening. Star Wars is sort of like it's screwed up with those first 3 films. I mean, not first 3, whatever the hell. The sequel films.
Second trio.
Yeah.
Okay. The third trio.
Yeah, the sequel films or whatever. The sequels that exist for no reason at all. Like after they screwed that up, they were able to do what I was hoping they would do. I'm like, I hope after this they lick their wounds, they get up and they maybe start small, maybe make some television shows, that are well written and well directed, that engages casual fans and hardcores, which I'm like, good luck, but of course they had the Mandalorian up their sleeve. And I think
Just have them remind people how good Star Wars is without having the Millennium Falcon fly through something stupid.
exactly, you
It's
don't
like this
rely
is a fun franchise. We don't need to rely on the characters that we've seen for a million years. We've seen all those people for so long.
yeah,
And they're
that's
doing
why-
an amazing job of giving us brand new storylines with brand new characters and just kind of interweaving those famous characters in every once in a while.
Well,
That's
you gotta interweave them in
fantastic.
because you gotta keep the audience engaged. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to look at the most cynical way of looking at it, we're like, oh my god, what they're doing is so brilliant. Like, not really. They're just taking characters that have been established in a cartoon show that had basically if one of my because I teach during the day, if one of my students from the 3rd or 4th grade watched it, that was their fan base, but they actually built good stories around it. I think those first 2 seasons, all that stuff, I don't know if Filoni was screwing up or if he intentionally just wrote it for kids because Fox was telling him to do it, before it was Disney. But there's my fan theory.
Yeah, we made it right now. And one thing I did notice is that this, the ship that dude, I can't. Oh my God, we're a couple episodes past this happening, but we haven't mentioned it yet. Big Star Wars news. We're finally gonna see a Gonk droid in action.
Is that what you were so excited about? I thought we've always seen.
No, I'm
Gonk
being
droids.
a super nerd, but it's just those things have been around since the first movie, and we've never seen one. They bring us every other droid. It's yeah, they finally got a Gonk droid.
Well,
And I'm all
didn't they have a
nerding out
Gonk
about it.
droid in everything? The Mandalorian had a Gonk droid.
They show up once in a while, but never. They don't have one on the ship. It's never a buddy.
Oh, he's gonna be a
They
main
have one.
character.
He's on the show like Chopper. That's what
Oh
I'm
my
thinking.
god, that's hilarious.
I'm like,
That,
they
yeah,
have a
that's what I
Gonk
love. You
droid.
can just have fun
It's
with that shit
oh
when
my
it's a
God.
cartoon. You
Yeah.
can just have fun
Hell
with
yeah.
shit.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
People still get murdered. Fennec Shand is still going to shoot people, but
Yeah,
you know,
in between
this is like
murdering a
Gonk droid.
family, we'll have Omega chasing after a toy in a dog's mouth.
Yeah, or a cute little lizard. Something fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was going to say that 3-winged ship that they have looks very familiar to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember about a 3-winged ship from the original.
Shit. From which show are we talking about?
The movies.
Boba Fett? No.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, the B-Wing?
No, the one that the Bad Batch are flying around in. My
does it
theory
look
is
like?
that might be the same ship that takes Luke to the Death Star, and
Oh, you
Return of
think
the
it's
Jedi.
you think it's
it just gets a paint job.
Yeah.
Gets a fresh paint job because it's all white and like glimmery and whatnot. 'Cause
I
the
get it.
Empire's
That was the
is.
one where they need the authorization code in order to go to Endor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one can scramble segments. And we just
Oh!
found that out in this episode.
Filoni,
Tech
take
just
notes.
figured that out.
Take notes.
He doesn't have to take notes. He's doing it, but I can see it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh my god, dude, it's amazing.
Well,
to
see,
this
it gets
stuff.
us excited because it's fan
And
service.
I could be way off again. Exactly. It is fan service. I could be way off.
Well, again,
It's
like
fun to think about that shit, man. It really is. It's like, oh my god, somebody. What?
Yeah.
That's the ship that took Luke to. Okay, cool. You know.
Oh
like
my
I already
God.
said earlier in the episode that I'm seeing that the Bad Batch help the rebellion get off the ground.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Tech has figured out a way to mask that ship's signal. You know, and that's exactly. Oh my god, dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. The show's so fun. Thank you, Star Wars.
Well, I don't think it's
I'm just like nerding,
quite
nerding out of it.
perfect. I don't think it's like quite perfect, but I think it's interesting. You know, I'm not like full. I'm always skeptical, so I'm just like, ah, man, like, I feel like half this episode was it was fun. It was fun. They were kind of remember that chase scene they had in episode 2 when Anakin was jumping between cars and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like doing that shot for shot in this.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of episode 2, that part.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun, honestly. You know.
Yeah.
To again remind us of the cool stuff you can do with Star Wars.
Well, George Lucas loves chase scenes, you know. He loves, you know, because he loves cars. You know, that was the whole point of American Graffiti. And, you know, he used to buzz around in cars as a kid and stuff like that. Like, this is something he's always said.
Yeah,
Like, he
that's why
even said
pod
behind
races
the scenes
exist.
stuff. Like, he wanted all 3 films to have, like, a chase scene. Although, I don't think the third film did. No, wait, the third film did have a chase scene, now I think about it.
Yeah, it starts off with a chase scene.
Ooh, no, I was thinking about the chase scene between Grievous and Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's on like the big stupid lizard, and then
totally.
Grievous is in the big wheel. Yeah. I think Luke is like, fine, I'll cut it down. Yeah. And then that's what he did. I got a kill assist on that tank by just like tapping it. It was 10 points.
Obi-Wan. Take a nap, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. But
There he goes.
so now with the character, I'm trying to think. Outside of someone chasing Omega, it was a rather short episode, 24 minutes. But what I like with this show is that it never feels like where they were wasting their time with the Clone Wars. Like even in the later seasons, you know, there were some episodes where I'm like, hey, if you want to have filler, that's cool. But at least tie it to something in the end. Just have something that makes me give a shit. And at least this show does that by tying fed it, because it's kind of technically it is a filler show, but it's fun because they tie Fennec to it in the end, and that's the kind of filler I like. It's the kind of fan service I like, when we can connect things like Omega and the Bad Batch to the Rebellion, to Rey, to all these things, because they are developing characters first that we like and care about. You know, Fennec, here's the thing. Do I like Omega? No, I think she's kind of like a dumb, cute kid at this point. Like at first she seemed like a strong, sort of very, I don't want to use the word independence, but she was kind of like a kid who knew how to do her own shit. And here she's like kind of like this dumb kid who's like, oh, cute toy, I'm gonna chase it and be in trouble. Oh no, now I'm scared. Where are my friends? Can you help me find my friends? And I'm like, what are they doing? Why is she acting like a
I mean,
like
she's
a
never
dumb
been
kid?
out. She's never been outside the lab on Camino, basically.
Is that?
And we don't know how old she is. Like, she could be, you know, a couple of decades old at this point. She's complaining about having been on Camino her whole life, and we don't know how long her whole life is. It could, you know, she could have been on that planet for a while.
That's true. And again, that's all sort of
Since the beginning of the Clone Wars, actually, she could have been on that planet.
That's true. Like, she could have been there at the beginning of the, I'm kind of bored with this game mode. Do you want to do a different one?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
switch it up.
Like I'm
Just
just
keep it
tired of like
co-op though. The other ones are
yeah. I don't know. This like the clones, this game is dying out, you know.
pretty much.
Yeah, EA
They
isn't
really need
even the
their
one.
Mandalorian slash Ahsoka slash Bad Batch update for this thing. Keep it fresh, keep people interested, because most of us are just like bored with it at this point.
You know what I think might happen long term with this game is like I actually want to get the PC version, which is basically going to cost me nothing. A to basically re-upgrade everything because it would be fun. Because like now with everything upgraded, it's just kind of like, well, what's the point? You know. But also the modding community can really make this game shine and become something else. Like you can put in whoever the fuck you want to. Granted, it's
Yeah,
not as accessible because PCs like literally are a physical
I mean,
pain in my back.
it's just the same game. It's just a different character.
Different characters, same game, but you can add different modes and shit too if you really want to get fancy with it. You know, Galactic Assault fucking sucks. Starfighter Assault sucks. Strike sucks. Ewok Hunt. I haven't done Ewok Hunt. Is that fun or is that stupid?
That's boring, I think.
That's stupid. All right, heroes and villains. Here we go. Let's do this. I'm gonna do. Should we do a hero showdown or hero starfighters or heroes versus villains? Let's do.
Uh, I don't mind Starfighters.
Oh, okay. Then we'll do pew pew.
Yeah, this
Let's
works.
let's do pew
No, you can
pew.
keep this.
What do you feel like? Okay, I just want to see how spammy it is. Oh, what's it doing?
Oh,
Oh,
it's ridiculous these days. It's ridiculous.
well, I got transported to the door. I don't know why. Hopefully, it's not Ewok Hunt. But no, again, they write the characters first, and then they make you care about uh some of the stuff later. I just hope it's not too revisionist where it's like, oh no, you'll find out later. It's like, well, what about now? What if I'm not engaged now? Which luckily I am. They can kind of use all the cliches they want, and that's cool. But ooh, young Obi-Wan in Clone Wars out armor. Hell yeah. I just hope that they don't rely on that too much because I want it. But luckily, knowing Filoni and his shows, all his setups pay off.
So tell me,
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
I'm yet to see a Dave
I
Filoni show where I'm like,
absolutely trust them
yeah.
where they're going with this show.
I mean, maybe we're overpraising him and acting like he's Jesus because, like, maybe once he does a few of these shows, he might, not be quite as impressive as we thought. Oh, who'd you spawn as? But we'll see how it works out in the end. Oh, you're Ray? Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see how they revise it. But I
And
guess.
speaking of which, I just killed a clone.
Now, was there anything with this episode you found kind of that you didn't like so much? I feel like I'm giving an essay.
I mean, as far as like we just mentioned it, like it did remind me a lot of that scene from you know the Attack of the Clones.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of
cool
annoying,
with that.
but
I was actually.
I'm cool with it. But it's like it's
I dug
again
it.
like Star Wars giving you something that you've seen already, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they gave you something that you've seen already, but they make it something that people hated initially, but now they like. When George Lucas kept saying, "Oh,
overall, it was
people
a
will
great
like it
episode,
later," well, I'm not sure they did end up liking it later. At least a bunch of people did. I'm just not sure if it was in the way he thought it would happen, but I think he's happy with the way because Filoni satisfies Lucas and the fans because he doesn't just bash on the material that exists.
Oh dang it!
Did you die? But,
No, I got. It was close.
yeah, but anyways, having said all that, do you have any more theories as to where this show could go? What could happen?
I don't know. I'm hoping that they just keep on track and keep doing what they do, and if we do eventually see the other bounty hunters that are out there working for, I mean, we know that that she's working for Vader. Like, well, let me just say that. Like at the end, she's like on her little comm or whatever. She's like, she got away, but I'll get her.
Yeah.
Who was she on that little comm to? Darth Vader, who's brand new at his job. What's somebody that's brand new at their job gonna do? Outsource.
Oh yeah, I want to see like shitty like Vader. I want to see like pouty Vader in the suit.
We're gonna see a brand new Vader in this series, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh, they're never gonna get rid of Vader, especially if it's a cartoon. It's easy to keep Vader. You know, that shit's easy. But yeah, I mean, aside from this episode, I don't really have much more to say about it because it's not like a super deep episode to dive into. It was a lot of fun.
No, it's just a bunch of little stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a lot. I guess like the Fennec thing was pretty cool. I didn't even know that was Fennec until you said it. Was it the same actress doing her voice as well?
Yes.
Yes. What's her name? I know you know, but I'm not quite.
Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it's great that she's staying in there. I think Forrest Whitaker has provided his voice in a few of
Was
these
that? I
series.
forgot to look that up. We mentioned that last time.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I think it's him. Like sometimes because I'll hear it and I'll go like, yeah, that's Forrest Whitaker. I think in this one it sounded a little off, so I don't think it was him. But you know, that's fine. I mean, he's Forrest fucking Whitaker. You know, I mean, Ming-Na Wen, that would be amazing if she hits like his level, like she wins an Oscar, cool. But just saying, like Forrest Whitaker probably wasn't as available. Oh shit! Come on, Boba! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come here, Boba! I'm gonna chop your head off just like your daddy's. But yeah, having said that, I'm happy about it. But yeah, thanks. I don't think I have anything more to say about this episode. I'm just fucking rambling at this point. Guys, if you want to,
thanks for having me on again. That was great.
Yeah, where can we find your stuff? Like, are you still selling your Cinema Obscura stuff?
Yeah, I have a Redbubble site you can get to via our Vimeo page or Instagram. There's links everywhere. But I do want to mention that all 48 episodes of the first 6 series of the TV show Cinema Obscura are now available on Vimeo. So go and check it out. Maybe Mike will go ahead and throw a link to an episode.
Yes, I will. That's why another reason why I don't
fantastic.
do live streams live until they're ready, because I'll have all this shit ready when I can do it live. These are all tests.
It was just completed.
Test. Tech test.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was just completed yesterday. We finally got every episode up and running. Each episode is an hour long. Different categories: music, horror, drama.
Now I gotta ask.
Compilations.
Can you reveal if you have a favorite film of the shorts that you show, or is that something where it's like, oh well, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, so I can't really say anything?
No, they know. It's Buzzkill by Kyle Williamson. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
So it's absolutely Chicago. It's more Chicago than anything you've ever seen in your whole life.
Oh my god.
It's just off the wall, like brilliance. It's a 4-minute fake trailer for a movie that's probably never going to happen, but it is so much fun. It's so much fun.
So it's a high production value one.
Medium. I mean, everything's indie, so everything's medium. Production, I would say.
Well, the thing is, you can do high production value like with like your fucking phone these days if you're really good at it.
Yeah.
You know, like screw all those nerds who like say, "Oh, you don't own this, you don't do it." Like, how is he blocking all my shots? Is this a glitch?
It's the computer. It's not even a person.
If you want to check out my stuff, go to ypareviews.com where you can find links to the podcast, to this beautiful YouTube material here, and of course, within the website itself are my written reviews. And also, feel free to check out all of my written material at 25yearslater.com, or as it's abbreviated, 25yl.com. I actually just recently wrote about the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Dreamcast, history of the PlayStation and how Nintendo royally fucks that one up. and my nostalgic memories of the Dreamcast. So it all comes together. I'm a gaming nerd, and I love the fact that I can do this, and I love the fact that I can have you on, John.
Heck yeah,
And
B. That was
all
fun.
right, this is like a Zoom call where people say bye like a million times. See you guys.